What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Talk. If you watch, so for those who have not watched, earlier this week, I actually uploaded another episode. So you're getting two episodes this week. You got one on Tuesday, and you're getting this one on Friday. So I was busy last week, and I had some things come up, so I wasn't able to do an episode. So I made up for it by having two extra episodes this week. So if you haven't watched the one on Tuesday, be sure to go watch it. Other than that, we are here with this episode. I'm glad to have you on. Can you just tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I am Moroccan Misfit, but a lot of people know me as Annie on here. I started off as a TikTok cosplayer. I'm recently moving to Instagram, and I mostly specialize in DC women's content, dabbling into some spider people, and hopefully going into anime soon. But that's kind of my gist right now.
Okay. We've been chatting for a while now. I came across it was your TikTok, I think, is where I came across your page. Um,
Mhm.
and so I was very interested in having you on just to get different people and their cosplays on as well. So to start things off, tell us what got you into cosplay.
I was a kid that took Halloween very seriously. I grew up with two brothers, so competition was severe. It was always who had the best costume. And then eventually, when we got older, we were able to like kind of control how like the quality of our costumes. It was more of who has like the best like costume, who has the most photos of other people. And then I was also a really big Spirit Day kid at my high school. I was obsessed with dressing up. I would get into full cosplay for no reason sometimes. Like if it was like even a Nickelodeon day at my school, took it way too seriously, as other people would say. But that's kind of before I knew what cosplay was. And then like I started seeing it on my Pinterest. So then I just kind of went into TikTok. I kind of did it in quarantine. It's something that kept me busy. And then I kind of realized, oh, I really like doing this. It's not something I want to like do to pass time during quarantine. It's something I want to do to pass time all the time.
Uh, okay, very very cool, very cool. So how long have you been doing cosplaying?
I want to say probably like three, coming up 4 years now.
Okay, okay. And you've done different ones. I think I've seen you did one for Supergirl.
Mhm.
Uh, you have some of Raven on your Instagram page, and then what were some other ones that you have on your page right now? I'm trying to remember them
Uh,
all.
Batgirl and Silk are kind of ones that I'm trying to throw in more often,
That's
but
right. So,
Raven and Supergirl are definitely the ones that kind of come up the most, I think.
okay. Uh, which one was the first one you did?
Um, Funny enough, I think Gotham Knights Batgirl is like the first official DC cosplay that I did.
Okay.
It's just I've retired her since, but I've been trying to continue doing Batgirl content. So Batgirl, specifically Gotham Knights, was the one I've done first. That's the one that a lot of people who stuck around for me know me for.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Um, so is there like a lot of cons around your area, or did you travel out to different states, or how does that work for you?
I live in Arizona, so there's not much going on. Of course, we have Phoenix Fan Fusion and a few other like cons here and there.
Hmm.
Um, but for like actual cons outside of the state, I love Florida. I'm going to Chicago in like a month, hopefully New York. But the only cons I went to out of state are just going to be LA Comic Con, MegaCon, and Hallmat.
Okay. Um, Very interesting. What con has been your favorite that you went to so far?
Um, to me, like I this is gonna sound weird, but to me, all cons kind of like are the same. It kind of like depends on the people that you go with,
Hmm.
because once like you go to enough, you kind of realize like it's kind of like the same entertainment, kind of like same entertainment, different format. It's always gonna be different. But like kind of same like vendor thing going on.
Right.
But what really makes it is the people. And I have to say, the people I went with in MegaCon were amazing. We had an Airbnb together. It was the best experience ever. It was my first like con, so I think it's just like you can't beat the original.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. And it's like, and you've had pretty much good all experiences at your cons. You haven't had any like crazy moments.
Um, I think like the craziest moment was I went to my first con, the very first day of my very first con. All of my friends went in maid dresses, and I went in a bunny suit because I wanted to match them, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And we had this one guy every 25 minutes would ask to take our picture again. And like we didn't know how to say no because he wasn't being rude about it. So we're like, yeah, I'll take
Right.
a photo with you. But like every time, like every 25 minutes, he'll like find us again. He's like, oh, can I grab a picture with you guys? I'm like, you got a picture with us earlier, but like it's nothing like dangerous or crazy.
Hmm.
I think it's more of like that funny scenario, but typically nothing out of my comfort zone crazy.
Very sounds very very fun. So, um, so you've been doing this for a while. What's some future cosplays that you have planned right now, or something that you want to work on in the future?
I would love to do Lady Deadpool. That has been a dream of mine forever. I want a reason to act unhinged in public. Um, I also like I have a cool Daredevil cosplayer friend, and I want to like complete the Team Red. So
Okay.
that'd be really cool. Other than that, it's kind of like it changes so often. I've thought about doing like anime cosplays. I wanted to do something like Violet Evergarden. Um, Other than that, I've wanted to do I think Cassandra Cain is a big one that I keep on circling back to, but so
Okay.
far Lady Deadpool is like the main focus for me right now.
Okay. Was it like awkward, or was it like kind of like was it like rough for you to come out of your shell to like do cosplays, or is that something like you were always wanting to like you said, you mentioned that you always love to dress up during Halloween. Did that kind of like help that transition into cosplaying?
Yeah, I think it really helped the transition to cosplay. It was weird telling my dad though, because my dad knew before I did. I like there were times like where I'd be dressed up in my room when it's not Halloween, not Spirit Week or anything, and I just like take photos.
Hmm.
And then my dad would knock on the door, and I'm like, Dad, don't come in. I'm getting changed. Like, don't look. And it was so embarrassing when I was a kid, but looking back on it, it was kind of sweet. Now, the transition process was really easy. Besides that, I have a great friend named Ray who really helped me on Instagram and kind of coming out of my shell, going to cons in public. I think like once you have that support system, it's super easy to kind of come out of your shell.
So you've been doing this for a while. So what advice would you give someone who wants to get into it? Like they've never done anything like this, any cosplay, anything like that. But there's something they want to do. What kind of advice would you give that person?
Yeah, I think it depends on like what the struggle is with stopping you. Um, if nothing's stopping you, I would say it's like find a character that you've been obsessed with forever. You don't have to look like them at all. You don't have to act like them. Just find a character that you enjoy and that you really wish you can immerse yourself in the world of, and just start from there and see what kind of branches out from that. I when I first started, I had some financial trouble, so thrifting was always a really good thing for
Mm,
me. Um, Finding characters that you already look like, so you don't have to like spend a ton of money on like a really nice wig or get it like too into makeup. I always say like start out slow. Don't over inspire yourself just because you could get overwhelmed really
right.
easily. So just like take things slow, like one photo a day, or not one photo a day. I guess that's a lot. One photo at a time, one post at a time, one makeup look at a time, one costume at a time. Like just don't overwork yourself because I feel like with content, it pushes out so quickly and
Yeah.
it's so impossible to keep up sometimes. So don't like compare yourself to other cosplayers. I think it's the big one.
Yeah. Is it easy to get burned out doing cosplay content, or is that just something that you love so much? You're going to continue to go at it even when you're tired.
Um, so for me, I cosplay whenever I'm stressed or overwhelmed. It helps
Okay.
me. However, comparing myself to other cosplayers is where I tend to fall short a little bit. I definitely get exhausted with social media sometimes. If I go to too many cons in a row, I'm exhausted. But always, like, if it's at home and it's in my own space, I definitely appreciate my cosplay hobby.
How many have you been to? How many cons have you been to this, or at least how many do you plan on going to this year?
Um, so I've been to four so far, but I plan to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion and C2E2 for sure. I'm gonna try to stray away from Florida, but NYCC is one, so maybe three this year is the goal.
Okay, okay. Is that how much you normally go each year, or does it just depend on the year?
It depends on the year. Like when I first started, the first 2 years I didn't go to any, but last year I surprised myself and went to four.
Okay,
So it's like I don't know. It's kind of like throwing a dirt in the air and see where it lands.
okay, okay. No, that's a good bit. That is a good bit.
Yeah.
Um, would you ever want to have your own booth at one of these cons, or are you just primarily just want to go as just I just want to go to have fun?
Oh man, I would love to have my own booth. My concern is that not enough people would come and like know who I am or anything. It's like that's always that fear of like, oh, I don't think I'm well known enough, and that comes from like comparing. But
Yeah.
I would love to have my own booth eventually. That'd be super neat, super cool. I'd have all my friends hang out there. Like it would be a time.
Do any of your friends have booths, or are y'all pretty much you just all go to hang out?
One of my friends, their name is Shady Haze on Instagram. I believe they have their own booth quite often, and they have like their own art printouts and everything. But other than that, I think it's me and my friends typically like to hang around like the lobby or like wherever all the other cosplayers are hanging out,
Right.
and we'll check out other booths to see like our friends if we know anyone.
How long are those cons? I know some are usually just maybe like a weekend, 3 days, 4 days. How long are the ones that you go to?
Mine typically last like the big ones in Florida, usually Thursday through Sunday. But
Okay.
most of them last only Friday through Sunday, and they kind of last anywhere like during the daytime. I would say your average con day is anywhere from 10 to like 6 p.m.
How how far in advance do you usually like plan out what cosplays either you're gonna bring with you, whether whether you already have some that you made or you're planning on making a new one? How far in advance do you usually plan to take your cosplays?
That was my biggest issue with LA Comic Con. I decided the day before who I was bringing. I kept on changing my mind. I'm sure it's going to be the same with C2E2. I haven't decided yet. It's always like who I have in my closet right now, and how I determine who's in my closet is always like what characters I like at the time and all that. So I would say like probably the week, like I would say maybe 5 to 7 days before is my average for deciding. I switch my lineup too often for it to be an official thing.
Do you already have an idea of what you want to go with for your next con, or is that like you said, just still up in the air, just wait and see?
I know I want to go as a spider person, like either Silk or Spider Gwen, because my friend Jose might bring his Miles, which is awesome.
Okay.
I know that my friend, like another one of my friends does Red Hood. I want to bring Batgirl or Supergirl for that. And the third one's kind of up in the air. I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet. So that's kind of like where I'm headed right now.
How long does it take you to make them? Make your I'm sure each one's different, but normally how long would it normally take you to make like a brand new cosplay, depending on which one you go with?
Yeah. So typically I commission my cosplays.
Okay.
Well, it's like for an average, we'll go with like Silk that I've done recently. A suit at Heroes Time, which is where I get all my spider suits, can take anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks to get in. So I start with that. And then in the same time, I usually order like the contacts and wig I need, which usually take about 2 weeks. And then like by the time I kind of figure out what makeup I want to do and everything, it's about like 3 weeks that it takes together to like put together this entire thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one was the most challenging to do?
I'm gonna say I think Poison Ivy was like pretty challenging. I don't know if I have any photos of her on my Instagram anymore, but I remember it was from MegaCon, and I it's the first one I've ever done by hand. Highly recommend anyone starting out cosplaying do a Poison Ivy cosplay. They are so easy to do by hand, and you have so much creative liberty. But that one was pretty challenging because I had to learn how to sew a little bit, and then I had to kind of work with super glue and leaves, and it was a whole mess. I think like organization was my biggest thing there, but that's like the only reason it was really challenging, I think.
Mhm. Okay, okay. Which so of the cosplay that you have now, which is the easiest to get into, and which one's the hardest that like such a pain in the butt for you to have to put on?
Yeah. Hardest pain in the butt one to put on is going to be my Gotham Knights Batgirl. I still have it. I just never put it on because she's so difficult to get into. Um, it's like leather and disgustingness, and it might be too tight. I don't know. That one's the toughest to get on. Easiest to get on is probably going to be Katara, just because she's basically pajamas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's interesting. Interesting. So other than cosplaying, what else do you like? Like movies, video games. What else interests you when you're not cosplaying? What are you doing on in other free time?
Yeah, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I'm getting into the Kirby games. I've always been into Animal Crossing was really good, and then I'm getting back into like Pokemon and everything like that. Other than like Nintendo, I really enjoy like reading. I'm a huge book nerd. And then I obsess over animated movies and shows from when I was a kid. I'm currently in like Young Justice phase again. But other than
Okay.
that, yeah. Other than
I,
that, I'm mostly like in school.
oh, okay. Yeah, I loved Young Justice. I have not watched the newest episodes of it. Um, so Nintendo. So no, I'm okay with Nintendo. Whenever I played Nintendo, it was primarily Mario.
Mm.
Um, and so I Animal Crossing. I have plenty of friends. Well, I got a few friends who play Animal Crossing. They love it. I'm not.
It's
I'm
like a
not.
cult classic.
Yeah, I'm not. I was just looking at him like I don't see what the appeal of this is. But hey, you love it, so you can work that yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a reader. It really depends
Mhm.
on what it is, and whether I'll read it or not. So
Yeah.
what's some good books that you've read so far?
I recommend this series to anyone who likes superheroes, especially if you're into My Hero Academia.
Mhm.
There's this series by Marissa Mayer, and it's called Renegades. And basically, it's about like a superhero society where like the villains kind of like are trying to take over again, and it's like a whole enemies to lovers thing. It's really great. I reread that one at least twice a year, which is obsessive and crazy. Other than that, I'm just a fantasy person. I really like fantasy, and sci-fi is really good. And I'm kind of getting into like murder mystery in a way. Like I'm reading
Oh,
the science
okay.
fiction, so
That's interesting. Why that?
yeah, that's it's going good.
Oh,
It's I have it's like this whole thing, but definitely I'm gonna recommend Renegades series to anyone who enjoys like superhero content for sure.
okay, okay. I do like a good. Yeah, I guess I do. I guess I do like a good murder mystery kind of thing. But typically I would rather just watch it than read it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Like, let's see. There's the movie Knives Out and Glass Onion. I like those because I think a good movie and a good book is really something that can let the person kind of like put the clues together themselves and let them
Mhm.
come out and try to figure out who did what. I think that's one of the best things, and that's why I love break those like kind of escape room games.
Yeah.
Those are very fun to do. Um, just trying to puzzle it out and get out of there in a certain time. Those are very fun. Uh, do you have a lot of those where you live?
I don't. So if we do, I don't have resources to them. I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about though, because I see TikToks of them all the
Oh
time.
yeah.
But I don't know of any in Arizona right now.
Oh okay. Yeah, 'cause, there's a good bit where I live, and sometimes I remember one year our boss at my previous job, he we went for a Christmas theme escape room, which was pretty fun. It's something. It really
Mhm.
puts your mind into work. You really gotta bring your A game for that.
Yeah.
Um, because I know so for cons, I was talking about this with the last person I had on, and a few other people too. Because because growing up, I used to just think that uh, cosplayers were just weird people, and so
Yeah.
just because, and to be fair, I grew up and I really did not have a lot of friends cosplaying. It wasn't until probably after high school, maybe about 1 or 2 years after I graduated high school, where a friend of mine invited me to a con that was about 40 minutes from where we lived.
Mhm.
And so I went, checked it out. It was pretty cool. A friend of mine was there. She was dressed up as she was cosplaying as Kita from uh, Atlantis.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, Atlantis. So she was doing that, and it was. I mean, listen, it was pretty cool, and it was really cool to see everybody just have fun with what they're doing. Uh, Not really caring as much. You know, the outside people you may look goofy, but in that cosplay universe, you're just one of them.
Yeah, I always wanted to be normal when I was a kid, but now that I'm not a kid anymore, I don't want to be normal because
Yeah.
set yourself apart. You know, if you're gonna go to the con and you're like one of the 25% of people dressed up, that's totally fine.
Oh yeah, exactly. So outside of your friend group, all the cons you've been to, um, what's the coolest cosplay that you've seen somebody do?
Oh my gosh, that is so hard because I've seen so many. Um, I wish I could like know this character or this thing off the top of my head. It was from Zelda. It looked like a mountain. It was like a robotic piece. It was super cool. But out of cosplays I can name, I saw this one person cosplay like a Vaporeon, but like a zombie one. It's from like a
Oh,
creepypasta on the internet. If you're like familiar with creepypastas, like scary stories on Reddit a lot of the time. Um, so there's this person that like dressed up as like the zombie Vaporeon, and I like just remember it from my childhood. So I was obsessed with it. It was so amazing. Other than that, I can't think of any on the top of my head, although I know I've seen amazing ones before.
okay, that's a zombie Vaporeon. I
It
have
was so
never.
neat. If you look up LACC, it's probably like one of the first 10 things because they got so many photos of them.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, because it was cool. Because I was telling the last person in the last episode, like people are very creative with their cosplays, and they put in a lot of work. Because I
Mhm.
remember a while back I saw one on TikTok, or sometimes some cosplay creators will like kind of showcase the process of what they're building and things like that. I saw one guy like he made like an Iron Man suit. The mask was functioning. It lit up. It opened up. It was just it's so cool. So cool
That
seeing
sounds
people do
amazing.
all that.
Hmm.
And then if you have a 3D printer, that's also
Yeah.
a pretty nice thing to have as well.
Yeah, my dad has one. He built the entire heavy Mandalorian armor. It's insane. Definitely
Oh,
like one of my
really?
favorites. And it's my maybe because I'm biased, but that is the coolest cosplay ever. He has a photo of it. It's incredible. Oh my gosh.
Does your dad cosplay?
He does. He just got
Oh,
started. He's
oh, okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
he's gray beard cosplay on here on Instagram. So he does the heavy Mandalorian. It's awesome.
So what got him into it?
It's because I got into it. I don't want to say like I started it, but I dragged him over to MegaCon, and then he just really liked it. He helped my brother build a Mandalorian, or no, he helped him build a Boba Fett suit for that con,
Mhm.
and I think he just really liked the process. Although my
Okay.
dad prefers making the costumes over wearing them, he is not a fan of
Oh.
all that armor. But yeah, he got into 3D printing, and then obviously like, when you fall into 3D printing, you kind of hear about people 3D printing cosplays. So I
Right.
think that's how we got into it.
Okay. So how long has he been 3D printing them and doing everything?
I think a little bit under a year, I want to
Oh, okay.
say. Yeah, it's going to be about a year anniversary of him doing that.
Okay. And you said your brother, does your brother also cosplay as well?
Yeah, my brother also cosplays. He doesn't like to call it cosplaying because he thinks like he was kind of like in the mindset that you were in like before, like oh cosplayers are kind of funky. I don't know how I feel about them.
Yeah.
My brother's still under the impression that cosplayers are a little weird. But he cosplays Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, so
Oh,
he's a little bit of a double standard right now. But we'll get into it.
what does he call it then? He just doesn't
He just
call it
calls it like
anything?
costume stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like he's
Okay.
like he just says, "I'm gonna dress up as Boba Fett at the con," but he doesn't say, "I'm gonna cosplay Boba Fett at the con." It's like it's a bad word to him. It's kind of
Right.
funny.
And how long has he been doing it?
Under a year,
Oh, okay.
probably. I think because like he did it in May. So yeah, it's been since May. He started in May. Is what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So does he go? So all three, do y'all go to the same con, or do y'all each go to like different one? Well, yeah. Or do you go to different ones?
I usually go whatever con I want to go to, and
Mm,
it's a matter of if they want to come with me or not. I'll go anywhere, but it's kind of like as long if it's close and if they're free for the weekend, I can usually get them to come with me.
okay. That's something. So
Yeah,
a family full of cosplayers, basically. So
right.
that's great. So since your dad has like a 3D printer, what has he made that? What parts of your cosplays has he made?
Oh my gosh, he made some Batgirl. So he made the Gotham Knights Batgirl masks, and he also made the regular cowl
Hmm.
for Batgirl. My dad is really into doing helmets right now. He has like Hawkeye stuff going on and all that. But he also cosplay. Oh, he also 3D printed an entire Batgirl suit for me. So
Okay.
that was awesome. And
Man.
I've yet to wear it out because it's so heavy. So I can't wear it to a con or anything because it'll fall apart.
Yeah.
But definitely need a photo op with it.
Oh yeah. Hey man, that's cool. That's very cool. I know those things are pretty pricey, I believe,
Yeah.
but
No, he
it
doesn't tell me how pricey it is.
oh yeah, because I have a friend who has one, and whenever they play D&D, they usually kind of like 3D prints their miniatures and paints it and everything. So he has one for his own, and yeah, I've seen people.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, I think I saw on TikTok somebody use a 3D printer. I think they were making a Master Chief Spartan armor. I think that's what they were. I think that's what they were making.
That's
But then
awesome.
but then I was just see people make. Oh no, it was. I saw somebody make that key from Kingdom Hearts. I saw somebody
The
make
big
one of.
one?
Yeah,
That's awesome. Oh
I
my
saw somebody
gosh.
make one of those before, and then I saw an Iron. I saw somebody they did an Iron Man and I think Green Goblin.
That is
But
so cool.
those take a while to make too.
Holy moly, that is incredible.
Yeah, I mean 3D printing. Gotta
3D printing is crazy. I don't know how people start out, but it's great. It's admirable.
oh yeah, definitely so. Especially when like cosplaying hobby or even D&D hobby. It's pretty good to have something like that. That way it
Mhm.
saves you really a lot of money to have to go out and like buy certain things. You could be like, I could just 3D print this and just make it myself. All I gotta do is just paint it. So
Yeah,
that is something. That is something.
it's
Oh
super
man.
neat.
Oh yeah, I noticed. It's wild. It's wild. Are you excited to see the? No, you said I just now thought of Nintendo. You excited to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, or is that something you're like, eh?
I think it's funny that Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, and that's kind of why I want to see it. But also, it's not like on the top of my to watch list right now.
Mm,
But if I'm bored one day, I'll totally go and see it. It seems super interesting, and Peach is animated like beautifully. I
right.
think it's funny that Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. To me, that's like I feel like he can get any role. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah. Pretty much. What's the movie that you're really wanting to see?
Right now, Into the Spider-Verse 2 looks
Oh yeah.
phenomenal. I saw the first trailer and it didn't get me too hyped because there's a lot of clips from the first movie, but that's okay. I know they'll pop up with like a better trailer. I'm waiting for it. That's just a movie I'm really looking forward to seeing. I love Miles Morales. He's an absolute legend. So
Oh yeah. I'm very excited to see that as well. This year has a lot of good movies that are coming out that I'm very excited to see. Also, especially a few. I know Ant-Man and the Wasp come out this weekend, and
oh, I need to see it.
oh yeah, definitely I will be there to see it. I went and saw Knock at the Cabin last weekend. That movie was it was a good movie. It was not
It
what I
was.
was expecting. It was a really good movie. I really did enjoy it. And then there's just a lot of good movies coming out now this year, so I'm very excited to definitely see those as well. But other than that, guys, I think that is we're gonna wrap up this episode. But for as per usual, for those who are listening, or yeah, pretty much those who are listening and watching on YouTube or podcast, tell us where we can follow and support you.
Absolutely. I am Meraki Misfit. I believe that is MER AKI and then Misfit on Instagram and TikTok. That's kind of where you can find me right now. I'm also, I believe I'm also Meraki Misfit on Facebook, although I don't hop on there too often. But Instagram and TikTok is definitely where to find me.
Okay. And as per usual, you guys know the drill. Hit that like, subscribe button, comment below. Be sure to check out the channel. Plenty of other stuff going on right now. And as per usual, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya.